What's up, guys? That Really Gross Guy here, and we are back playing Warframe. And today I wanted to set some time aside to talk about a little bit of the going-ons and the information that has kind of been thrown at us a little bit recently, whether it be by the developers or the people data mining the game itself. I think some of you guys know where I'm going with this, especially if you watched not the last episode, but I believe the episode before that, where we talked about the next Prime frame. So, just real quick, because I always go over my loadouts real quick, I am using my Wukong because I want to level him up. I want to put some form into him, and I want to get some use out of him, because I know he can be a really, really good tanky revival type frame. So I'm using my Wukong, leveling him up. I'm running the Zhuge just because I feel like it's a cool feel for him. The Azuma, just because, I don't know. I started my Wukong build back when I got the Azuma, and I thought it would be a cool kind of a thing for him. And then lastly is the Shaku, because I feel like, I feel like that's his thing. And I looked up the lore a little bit on Wukong back when he first came out, and the fact that, according to like the mythology behind him, is that he can use his hairs to, because he's a monkey-based, thing. But he can use his hairs to either create a weapon, like each one of his hairs can do a thing, or he can use them as like a clone or something of himself. But I could imagine him, because he does have the giant pull thing, whatever ish. I feel like he also would be a very cool frame to run like nunchucks on. So I did that, but. Anyways, with all of that said, I am also running my Prism Shade, which doesn't really have a very in-depth reason why I'm running that, other than the fact that it's colored similarly to my Wukong. But I set it up with Sacrifice and Prime Regen, because eventually I want to get this revival type build going on my Wukong. But yeah, we're in here doing a capture just for fun. It is an alert, so I figured I'd jump into it and get it done. Just for the reward. But anyways, Oberon Prime. You guys probably know at this point, Oberon has, I'm pretty sure, been confirmed. There are like full-fledged pictures of him that have come out, and I believe it actually got leaked on PlayStation, and then basically it's confirmed at that point. They're like, "Yep, you got us. It's Oberon. You're right." So, Oberon Prime is, as far as I know, it's going to be a thing. We've also seen a picture of the Cerberus Prime, which I said in the last video I wasn't all that excited about, because we already have the Dex Cerberus and the regular Cerberus, and it's just another iteration of it. It does look like, now, everything is subject to change. Even when it comes out, even after it comes out, it's possible we could get a nerf or a buff. So, the stats are subject to change, but from what we've been hinted at, or data mine, whatever, it's supposed to be a fairly strong weapon. So, I am looking forward to its increase in damage. However, I believe its rate of fire is slightly longer than the Dex Furus, which was it was like a 3.9, and supposedly, like I said, all subject to change, the fire rate on the Cerberus Prime was like a 4.1, but obviously before mods or whatever. But like I said, all subject to change. I don't really care about stats. I'm just saying we've seen it to some degree in a leak, so it's a thing. I don't know how excited I am about it, because the Dex Cerberus was good enough for me. The regular Cerberus I like, so it's like, as exciting as I am about a damage increase, I was kind of hoping for a fresh, new something. I was kind of hoping for something along the lines of what's a good weapon? I don't know, maybe another, I don't know if we'd get Dread Prime. We already have the Ceranos and the Ceranos Prime, so maybe a bow right now wouldn't be a good idea. But maybe something more like a, could you imagine like a Penta Prime? Well, we do have a Penta in the syndicates, a Tonker Prime, maybe, or if we saw like a secondary, maybe like a Sonicor Prime or a I don't know what I'm really feeling. I have to go through the weapon list and be like, yep, I want a prime of that, I want a prime of that, I want a prime of that. But on the flip side of that, they've basically confirmed, and I don't know if it is the Silva and Aegis Prime, because honestly, it doesn't look like it doesn't look like this prime weapon in the picture. It's a sword. If it's a shield and sword, it looks more like a shield and a mace. And it probably runs the same stance as the sword and shield. But I almost hope that it is like a shield and mace. And to be honest, I think it would be really cool if we got a new stance for it. But I do like the idea of doing like a shield and blunt mace object as a weapon. So I am honestly really excited about this melee, and it might be the Silva and Aegis Prime, like I said, but it could also, maybe, I don't know, leaks, this and that, it could also be, just like we've seen with the Dakra and the recent secondary weapon, it could be a different weapon altogether. I don't know for sure, but regardless, I am excited about it. I love the Silva and I love the sword and shield stance in general. Even though a lot of people say it's really not all that useful and it's a little bit of a gimmick, I personally love it. I love it. I love the way it works. I love, the blocking mechanic, even though I don't use the blocking mechanic all that much. I don't know, I use it on my Inaros, and it's one of my favorite melee stances in the game, so I'm excited about that. And I don't know, it's probably going to be I really need to get Valkyr Prime and the Venka Prime and Banshee Prime and that, I forgot what that secondary weapon is called, the secondary prime weapon, but I still need to get a lot of that stuff. But I'm going to be completely honest, is I'm probably going to try and farm this Silva and Aegis or whatever prime melee weapon when it comes out, because I don't know, I feel like it would be a really fun prime weapon, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I think I covered everything that really needs to be covered. Pretty much, it's a thing. We can almost 100% confirm it, unless DE decides to say, you know what? Nope, leak. Oh my gosh. Sorry, the sun is coming up and it's killing my green screen. It's literally coming in through the window. But the sun is coming up, and train of thought gone. Yeah, it's pretty much a sure thing. It would be. I don't know if DE would not. I'm under the assumption DE would go, you know what? It's leaked. We're gonna start over. We're gonna do something different, and we're not giving it to you. That's not gonna happen. Because Oberon just went through his rework. Oberon Prime. Expect it at this point, and I don't know. I'm not displeased. I'm eager for the Silva and Aegis. I'm totally cool with having an Oberon Prime. And I mean, if the damage is supposedly what it's going to be on the Sabaris Prime, you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy that it's going to be a Sabaris Prime as well. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much all that needs to be said. I do want to mention that I'm going to do my best to get a video about Umbra up here in the next day or so, I actually am going to be, for the Umbra video, I'm going to be playing a different game for a small portion of my Umbra talk, because there's a game that I've played where there's this really cool skill, really cool thing that I feel like would be a really awesome power that I would love to see Umbra Excalibur have. And I just want to kind of bounce the idea of what do we want to see as a community happen with Umbra Excalibur. And I know a lot of you are going to say, you know what I want to happen to Umbra Excalibur? I want him to be released. That's what I want to... It's like, shut up. Shut up. We're getting Umbra Excalibur at some point. We'll talk more in depth about it, but there has been supposedly a leak of Umbra Excalibur out in the works somewhere, and as much as that might be faked or whatever, maybe, I don't know, or as much as this leak could be super far away, my goal for making this video is not to talk about when is he coming out. My goal is to talk about what do we want to see with the Umbra Excalibur and the future Umbra frames, because DE has kind of hinted at they want to do like an Umbra, you know, an Umbra lore type series, and I'm assuming that's going to create a path to where other frames are going to receive the Umbra treatment. So I think that would be sick. I absolutely am down for that. But in my opinion, I want to see Umbra frames have different skills, or at least a very advanced dynamic which changes them drastically from their basic counterpart. So even different from, you know, like Excalibur and Excalibur Prime. I want Umbra to be like a alteration of the basic with something that is really advanced or really different in terms of a dynamic that makes an Umbra like a royalty like frame to acquire. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I want to talk about that in that episode. So stay tuned for that. If you are not subscribed, make sure you get yourself subscribed, because I like talking about a whole bunch of stuff. I like to pick your guys' brains. I like to kind of throw some ideas out there and see what you guys think. And the feedback would be awesome. And maybe you guys are thinking of stuff that I haven't thought about, or maybe you guys have some really cool ideas that, you know, that other people are totally down for, or maybe the developers haven't even thought of, and maybe they'll hear one of these things, and maybe we'll make something happen. But thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time. Blow!